because today we are talking about the huge box behind me of books that I am donating. So let's get our face on, and then we'll go through the 20 something books I have in this donation box. Alright, I just wanted to look a little bit put together, but my lips are a little intense, so just pretend that they don't exist. My eyes are cute though. We have a little blue and pink moment going on with a little bit of purple just to give it a transition, but I like it. That's from my Christian Dominique palette by Dominique Cosmetics. But yeah, super simple because I'm going to wipe it off at the end of this video. Let's get into this huge box because there's a lot to go through. All of these books that I'm showing you today are going to be donated to the orphanage library that I work with in Haiti. This is for their local community, so a lot of these books are adult, but there's also some kids books mixed in for, of course, the children that I do work with, because I want everyone to be able to have these books and be able to access them, because I know that it is kind of a privilege for us in the States, and so I wanted to give these away. So with that disclaimer, let's get into this long list of books that we're giving away. So the first book that we're giving away is called Our Best Life Together, which is a daily devotional for couples. And so most of these books are in English just because I read English books, but we are also going to be getting some French and Creole books because that is the native language in Haiti as well. But all the books today are going to be in English. This first book is actually a book I won on Goodreads, I believe like 4 or 5 years ago. And I thought it was time to give it away because obviously I'm not in a relationship. My parents don't really need this, and so I thought this would be a good to give away just because I feel like people who are religious and who are in Haiti in couples might be able to relate to this a little bit better than I could. I have some really old books. So this one is called Success for Teens, and it looks disgusting on the cover, I know, but again, like, these are just books I'm giving away. Obviously, if they are in poor condition, the library will throw them away, as well as they'll be cleaning books and everything like that. So it's not going to be just kind of given things that are very like bad, out of shape, and things like that. I just wanted to make that disclaimer because some of these are a little bit in really tough shape, but I still want to send them because you never know what they'll be willing to take and what they won't be willing to take. And so this one is called Success for Teens. I remember getting this when I was in high school at my church, and this just has a lot of like interactive pages and things like that, which I thought could be great if they had like a little group where they worked with the teenagers, the young adults. I like the little 13-year-olds to 15-year-olds. I feel like this would be a nice way to have classes, so that this book necessarily doesn't have to be one for the library, but one that could be used to help educate and have kind of those building block moments with the middle school age, I would say, for this book. Next, we have I Hear You, which is the surprisingly simple skill behind extraordinary relationships. So this is another one for the relationship category. I did get a lot of these books in my time, so they will have a section of relationship books at the end of this. We're not talking about it, but this is this book right here. This is also one that I found off of Goodreads, and I think it's easy. It's quick, it's a short read, probably easier than the devotional ones if you're getting into relationships. So this is the next book I'm giving away. Another group one that I'm giving away, this is more about teamwork, exercise building, and this is called Build an A-Team, and it's for playing the strengths and weaknesses of teams and how to lead them upwards in a learning curve. So I think this is also really good and can go in that self-help relationship category as well. And this is what it looks like. I believe this is another one I found off of Goodreads. Oh, found it. Yeah. So this is from the Harvard Business Law Press, and it is signed. A lot of the books I have are either signed or like proofread copies or like early editions. So that's another reason, even if they're a little damaged, I like giving them away rather than throwing them out, just because they are having that extra value. But this is this other book right here. Next we have Unlocking Secrets, My Journey to an Open Heart. So again, self-help. I went through a phase in high school. But self-help, you know, talking a lot about looking inward, finding out things that you're going through in life. And so I think this is, again, something for an older generation. This is written by someone who's in their 30s. So I think it's good for growth, self-development kind of section as well. And then over here, we have Jasper, Street Fighter, and Me, and this is a detective series. So this is one I think could be for the teenagers, because I remember when I was a teenager, I loved reading like murder mysteries, dystopians, those kinds of books. And so this one I think could be really nice for my male readers. It can also be for female readers as well, but I wanted to have this option as well. And this one is a revised edition, so this is again another early edition, and it's signed, which is another reason I like giving these away again. But super excited to be giving away this one to, I think, someone who will appreciate it more than me, because I didn't get too deep into the series enough to like warrant me keeping it if I only still have just the first book. This next is What Would Virginia Woolf Do? So this is another health wellness one. This is targeted more towards women or female representing, and I really like this because, again, self-help education. It's really nice. It's a little bit lengthy of a read, but I think this is just going to be a nice book for that health and wellness, relationship, ever-growing section. I'm building this section for their library. But yeah, so this is this next book over here. And now we get into my Twilight phase. So let's just pull out, I can't find the other one yet, but I have 2 copies of this, and one of them I'm keeping, and this one I'll be giving away. I read these in middle school, so these are definitely for the teens, the preteens, definitely going in that category of people. I know the author now. There's a lot of negative things to say about them, but again, this is kind of a book I think many young adults have read. And Haiti, I don't know if any of the kids I work with even like have read this. They probably know about it, as everyone does at this point around my generation, but I think it'd be nice to have that edition. So I have this as well as the first Twilight book. It's somewhere in this box I'll pull out. So they have the first 2 books, and I might see if I can go to Goodwill and make some bargains to get the rest of the series, because Goodwills always have the Twilight series, and I would really love for them to have that in their library, because I think that'd be really cute. All right, so this next one, we have a multitude of copies of it, and I'm not sure why. I think we were given it by a family friend, because a lot of my dad's family likes to write. A lot of them are authors, as well as myself. So I have 4 copies of right here, Life is Messy, which is a poetry book. This is actually not for resale, so another good reason to be giving it away to the libraries, because it's not for resale. These were gifts. We are keeping a few copies, but I wanted to give a few of these to the library just because I think it'd be nice for them to have something that's more than just one book, so multiple people can check it out at a time. A small little book club of 4, I think something like that is really nice as well. And so yeah, this is just a poetry book, very much life, health, wellness kind of series as well. So let's also add that to that pile. And then this is the Twilight one. This is one I'm not sure if they'll keep because it's missing its cover. Every other page is very well intact, like there's no loose pages or anything. But again, this cover did fall off because I read this in middle school on the school bus every day. Me and my friend had a reading competition. This was in my backpack, yet somehow only the cover fell off, which is so surprising. But if they don't keep it, it's fine. I'll just buy an extra copy of the original, so that way they can start on Twilight and then read New Moon, and hopefully I'll have the other editions as well. All right, this is the next pile. We have about 4 piles, so buckle up. So this is more, again, younger preteen teenager book, and this one is called Fickle Fever, and it's just kind of like a growing up book, and I think it's super fun. There's a little murder mystery aspect to it. Again, I really liked murder mysteries growing up. But yeah, so I think this is a good book. It's a short read. The text is big, which is good for new, like, younger readers, I think. So I'm really happy to kind of add this to the younger section because the self-help section is getting pretty huge, I will say. So this one, I'm also giving this away. I don't know if they'll take it, just because I know Haiti's very religious, but I think it's important to have books like this. And this book is called Quit Church Because Your Life Would Be Better If You Did. And that's a very controversial topic, because my family obviously is super religious. My mom is religious, my dad, my grandpa, my grandma, like my cousins, my aunts, like everyone. And I think having a book like this in the library is good, because not everyone is really religious. Not everyone wants to be religious or has their own reasons for not following it. And so I think having this book in the library is good for people who want to see that different perspective and maybe want to follow it. So we also have an option for them in the library. So this, another young adult book. I don't remember this book as much, but I think I got it when I was in my middle school library, and I was charged for it because I forgot to return it. But it's fine because now it's going to a new library in Haiti. And this is The First of the Penguins. So that's cute. Did I say penguins? Yes. All right, and this one is another one that deals with religion versus reincarnation. So again, I think it's very nice to have these kind of opportunities to discover yourself and discover what you believe in and what you don't. Sorry, we're getting super fuzzy on camera right now. There we are. And this one is called Heaven, the Womb, Childhood, the Past, Coward, Flight, etc., versus Reincarnation, Life, Adulthood, the Future, Hero, etc., etc. So this is another one. I got this off of Goodreads, and I think it goes really well with Quit Church. It gives you different perspectives, and I really like being able to offer people the ability to have those different perspectives and being able to choose for themselves. So this will be going in the self-help, health, wellness, relationships. Okay, and then here we have a sort of memoir historical piece. I don't really read these. I bought a lot of them and I never read them. So I thought it'd be nice. I'll build that historical section as well a little bit with My Mother's Son. And of course I didn't read this, but it's a story about a Jewish family in Boston, and it shows like how fantastic but also like tragic the stories can be and their lives can be. And I really love this. This is about someone who was born November 7th, 1939. So this is very reaching into the past, and I know some people may not have those viewpoints, but I like this idea of like this memoir kind of book. And so this is one going to the library. Up next, we have another one that talks about your past a little bit, and this is called There Is a Generation 2. And this one is one I didn't read as well, but this is about a young boy in Texas in the 1950s. So again, it's really reaching back towards that past, and I think it's really nice to kind of, again, show those different layers of history and things like that. So this is a book we'll also be giving away. Here we have something for the youngins. This is Judy Blume. I'm sure a lot of you know her from your childhood, but it's Are You There, God? It's Me, Margaret. And so this is, again, for the young ones, but I think it's super cute. I obviously am giving it away because, like, I don't need it. So I think it's time for her to go. And then here we have a memoir called Ruined, and this is about a young pregnancy and talking about just a lot of more tragic topics for me. But I really wanted to give this away as well, just because I did read the few chapters in the beginning, but it's not something I typically gravitate towards, and I think someone will want this. Someone will gravitate towards this, and I think even though it's not me, someone will want to read this book. Next is another one for the young ones, and this is called Tall Tales, Winging It with the Wright Brothers. I think this is just so cute. It's a way of like having fun little moments of history, but not super history for kids. And it's, of course, a super easy read, really big text, really short book. And I think that is adorable, and I hope little kids enjoy this book. We have one more stack after this. So this one is called A Girl with a Secret, A Girl Like You Meet Indigo Blue. This is another young kids book, but I think it's time I part with it. It was really hard for me to part with it for some reason. I don't even remember the plot because I was so young, but all I know is I was like, today I was like, you have to let it go. Like, you have to give it. So I'm going to give this away as well. And I do hope the kids like it and have maybe a new favorite book like I did when I was really young. And then here is called, this is another book I forgot to return. It's called A Wonderful, Terrible Time. And this one is written about two obviously Two Little Girls of Color, which I really like because obviously there's a lot of people of color in Haiti. I don't read a lot of books about a lot of people of color. That's not something I do intentionally. I think it's just something that I never noticed until I do my clean outs and I realize there's not a lot of books that talk about people of color as the main character, but this does. And so I'm going to be giving this away partially because I want to give at least a book of sorts of that terms of representation. This one is another book that's dealing with adult topics, and this one is called Unified: How Our Unlikely Friendship Gives Us Hope for a Divided Country. And this deals with people of color, obviously non-POC representing. And I really wanted to share this one about diversity because I think it's really important, especially nowadays. And so I wanted to give this to the library. I believe I also got this one signed or something in there. But yeah, I did. Yeah. So yeah, this will be going to the library in Haiti as well. And then this one, the Verdun Affair. This one deals with like more military-based kind of romances. It, I believe, is fictional, but I think it's still an important topic as well. So I'm really happy to be giving this one away. It's about the First World War, so it's not current or anything like that. But I think again, something like this is always good to have in the library because you never know like who would gravitate towards it. This next book I have 2 copies of, so I'm giving this one away. This is The Girl Who Played with Fire. Just because, again, I have so many copies of books that are doubled over just by accidentally buying them at Goodwill, forgetting I had them in my collection from years ago. So I'll be giving this one away because I have it. I'll also be giving this one away, The Elite, because I thought I lost it. My dad bought me one and then I found it. So I'll be giving the second copy away just because I have it. I love this series. I will be trying to find the series as well from Goodwill, just to at least have the first book is my goal. So if someone does read it, they get to read the first and second book, and maybe I'll find the third one as well at Goodwill and be able to give people that kind of trilogy series books as well. So we have one more stack. I'm sorry, I know I read a lot, but I'm really happy I'm giving away so many books. I think it's really good to do that from time to time. I do it every like 5 years. I look through my book collection and like, what do you not need? So let's get into this last big chunk of sets. And this one is another period piece. Again, I don't know why I bought so many that I didn't read, but this one is Mary Forrest, Deceived by Desire. So this would be going probably more towards adult, just because I do know a lot of historic period pieces. Some of them, someone recently called one a bodice ripper, and I never heard that term before, but like, that's so good to describe certain historical texts that have a lot. I didn't read this, but I'm assuming because it says desire, it might have some erotica in it, and I don't want that in the children's section. So definitely more for the adults, but I think this will be a good historical romance to give away. Next is Pieces of Me, and this deals, I think, with more of like immigrants and things like that. So again, I think something that could go into that period piece section because it does speak about, I think, important things. This talks about some daughters that were kidnapped, and it was like $1 million, $100,000 in ransom. And so I think this is like a super interesting piece to have. So I'm definitely going to be donating this one as well. Here we have 30 Days of Reading, You Are Not Alone, Encouragement for Heart of a Military Spouse. And I think, again, this kind of book I really want to give away because I think I don't have family in the military, but I had my friend whose father was in the military and things like that. And since I can't personally relate to that, I have a friend who went to the military. I can't relate to it in terms of a loving spousal relationship, but I think that some people can really benefit from maybe something like this. It can't be me, but hopefully someone will benefit from this book. Next is Jillian, and this is a story about love and freedom. Great for a period piece section as well. I told you about a lot of these. I don't even read period pieces, but I just kept getting these. So I think this would go great for that section as well. It gives me a lot of vibes of like Odysseus, and I really like that. So I'm going to be putting that in that section as well. Last few books. This one is really random, so we'll get through it quick, but this is the Webster Medical speller. I don't know why we have this in my house. My mom's not a nurse. I'm not going into medicine. My dad's not into medicine. But we had this and I thought I might as well donate it because someone can use it. I know these terms may be older and outdated, but again, it's a developing third world country. I think books like this are important. I can say the same rhetoric over and over, I'm sorry, but yeah, I'll be giving this one away as well. Next is a little book for the children. We had to do it. Oh my gosh, I had such a hard time giving this one away, but I had to. And this is Polar Bear, Polar Bear, what do you hear? Oh, childhood memories when I see this one. So definitely giving this one away. I think it'd be so cute if they could read this to the kids, and I really like this one for the kids donation. I think this is a really good find that I found in my house. All right, next is another more like real life situation, and this is a book about near-death experiences. Might be too on the nose for a third world country. This is like uncorrected early proof. It's not for sale, but I think it's so important. I think especially in Haiti, I think some people might need this and they might relate to it. So I'm really happy to be giving this one to the library as well. And it has a multitude of authors, so that's why I didn't list the author, because there's just so many on there. Next is another one I might put for the adults, which is a Bride of High Country, a runaway bride's novel. That just feels like it have like erotica stuff in it, so I'm just gonna put that in its own little place. But this is what it looks like, so this will also be going in that section. And next we have U-Turns, Wrong Ways Made Right. This is about people who may be struggling with alcoholism or their family members as well, and I think this would be really good. I've had close family struggle with it before, and it's such a hard time. I've seen it with like some close family of mine that I don't want to get into, but I think that this is a kind of book that I think is super important, so I'll also be giving this one away. And then our last two books are, this one's kind of really current, but this is Bill Clinton's The President is Missing, which is super current, so we're just gonna pass that by. We're putting this in the library. We are, because yeah, okay. And then the last one is Redemption, which is another period book piece. And those are all the books that I'm donating. And I know it's a lot, and I'll also be donating some of my own because I have them to give. If you like this video, don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe, and I will see you all in the next one.